Hello, my name is Rachel and it is finally fall. Literally just happened last night, and fall is my favorite season. Although I probably technically enjoy summer more. As a teacher, I'm off all summer, but the season of fall is my favorite. I love just the scents and the sights and the warmth and the chilliness of I love everything about fall. And it is finally here. I mean, literally it is the 23rd of September when I'm filming this, so it just became fall last night. So I'm ready to do this tag, and I've seen several people do this every year, including Reagan over at Peruse Project. I know she loves to do this tag, and I see it often, so I might try to make this an annual thing as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to try to answer all of the questions based on books that I've read just this year, so just the pool of books that I've read in 2018. So here we go. The first question. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. And for this, I'm going to go with The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. And this one I thought was a little strange, but overall I enjoyed it. But the setting was the best part of this book. It's set in the Pacific Northwest, and it literally felt like I was there. I really wanted to go after I finished this book. It's perfect for the fall too, because it's about witches and magic and dark magic, and it's set in the Pacific Northwest. It just feels like a perfect book for fall. But again, the setting is what made this book so phenomenal, so this is my choice for crisp, vivid setting. Question 2 is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic. And for this, I'm going to go with Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. I read the graphic novel this year, and it is amazing. I was really concerned when I heard they were going to do a graphic novel because I wasn't sure how it could live up to the book, but it was just as good, if not even a little bit more impactful with the drawing. So I would highly recommend this. It deals with a sexual assault and a teen girl learning to deal with this, and it's amazing. If you have not read it, I could not recommend it anymore. It's fantastic. Next, it says, fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something. And for that, I'm going to pick the book that I'm currently reading, and I've been reading it forever because it is so dense. And that is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. It is taking me forever to read this book because it's just so jam-packed full of information. I have learned so much about the Chicago World's Fair, about the setting in Chicago, about things just happening around the late 1800s, and then obviously about H.H. Holmes. And the amount of information in this book is overwhelming, and a lot of times throughout the week after I've been at school all day, I'm exhausted and I have a hard time getting into this book. Just for the information level. Like, I'm enjoying all the information I'm getting, but it is hard to read it when I'm tired. So I do find myself reading it more on the weekends because it's just so jam-packed full of information that it's a little overwhelming when I'm tired. But it's interesting, it's deep, it's dark, it's factually based, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, even though it's taking me forever to read, but I'm learning so much. Next up is, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with people we love. Name a fictional friend group or family you'd love to join. And for this, I originally thought about going with the Weasleys from Harry Potter. I've read a couple Harry Potter books this year, I think at least just one, but I decided to venture off and do another family when I saw them on my list of books I've read this year, and I read a Bob's Burger graphic novel, and I would definitely join Bob's Burgers family. The Belcher family is amazing. They're always into some shenanigans, and I just dearly love all of the characters, so I would happily join the Belcher family. Next, the leaves are colorful and are piling up on the ground. Show us a stack of fall-colored spines. Well, all my books are downstairs, and it's kind of a mess, so I decided instead to make you a collage of fall-colored book covers that I've read this year, so enjoy. Next up, fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fire. Name a book where someone tells a story. And for this, I'm going to go with The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Technically, all of this is presented like after the fact of these things happening. You find out at the end. This has all been retold through, I believe it's a journal. So I'm going to use this one. I really liked it. I have to say, though, this is a rare case where I think I like the show better, but I think it's just because it makes it more vivid and up to date and even more realistic than the book was. The book was amazing. I would highly recommend it, and I think that it is perfect for a storytelling pick. Next up, Nights Are Getting Darker. Name a dark and creepy book. And for this, I'm going with Sadie by Courtney Summers. This could not get much darker. I originally read this one thinking I might pick it for my high school book club, but it is just really dark. I think it might make some of my readers maybe a little uncomfortable, so I would much rather have it just as a choice pick than as one I pick and give to them, although I will definitely be recommending it to several of my high school students because it's fantastic. It follows two perspectives. One is the perspective of the main character, Sadie, who has gone off on this revenge trek. And the other perspective is of a podcast that is tracking Sadie down. She's missing. They're trying to find her, so they're following her footsteps. And it gets really dark and really twisty and very, very heavy stuff going on in that book. But it, again, is a perfect kind of murder mystery thriller for fall, so I would definitely recommend. Next up, the days are also getting colder. Name a short and heartwarming novel. And for this, I'm going to go with Ebb and Flow. This one was written by Heather Smith. It's written in verse, which I typically don't like, but I read this for a review group, and I loved it. It's really emotional. It's really a lot about character development and character growth, personal growth of our main character who has had something not great happen in his life that he's been involved in, and he goes to spend, I think it's the summer, with his grandma, and he gets a lot of time to reflect and think back about his part in this negative encounter with another person. And I love the growth and the thought and the emotions in this book. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. And again, that's Ebb and Flow by Heather Smith. Next, fall returns every year. What's an old favorite you'd like to return to? So again, since I'm picking books from my reading list this year, it could go two ways. One is a book that I actually have read twice this year, so I've already reread it, and that is Be Prepared by Vera Brosgol, and this is about a young girl who is trying to find herself and ends up in a Russian summer camp, and things just don't go the way she imagined. And it's hilarious, it's so funny, I've already read it twice. And if I didn't mention already, it's a graphic novel, so it takes like no time to read, but it is so much fun. Otherwise, a book from my list this year that I would like to reread would probably be From Twinkle with Love by Sonia Menon. I really, really enjoyed this book. I read it as an e-arc before it came out, so it's been a while since I read it, and I would love to revisit this one soon. And the last question, what are your fall accessories? Well, first of all, a big old stack of books. I think I read more in colder weather because I'm inside more. And you know, you'd rather just stay, it's so much easier just to stay in the house and read than to go out and venture into the cold and the snow and the grossness. So while I'm reading my big stack of books, I also like a big comfy blanket. I have a t-shirt quilt that is like the most comfortable thing ever. I cuddle with that quite often. I also like to, I tend to like prop a book up on a pillow, so I always need like multiple pillows, like one for my book, one for me, sometimes even one to like prop up an arm maybe, so I'm always propped up with a bunch of pillows. I also like to have candles going. I'm currently burning a Yankee Candle, fall themed. I think it's called Crisp Fall Night or Crisp Autumn Night or something like that. Love those. And then I just cannot get enough leggings and cardigans, so those are my fall accessories. So if you would like to participate in this tag, I'm officially tagging you, so feel free to complete this tag as well. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you again soon in another video. Bye for now.